Want to stop translating and start communicating like a native? This lesson will unlock your English brain, step by step. Welcome back to LMJ English. If you're someone who wants to speak English naturally and confidently without always translating in your head, this story is just for you. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our newest, most powerful English learning stories. The importance of thinking in English. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation, ready to speak, but suddenly your mind feels like it's buffering, just like a slow internet connection? You know what you want to say in your native language, but English doesn't come out fast enough. So you start translating word by word, rearranging grammar in your head, trying to remember that one tricky phrase. Meanwhile, the person you're speaking to is waiting. And you? You're stuck, frustrated, embarrassed. That's the hidden cost of thinking in your native language while trying to speak English. This happens to so many learners, and it's not because you don't know enough English. In fact, you probably know more than you think. The real problem: you haven't trained your brain to think in English yet. Translation acts like a wall between your thoughts and your speech. Every sentence becomes a puzzle, every conversation a test. But imagine this. What if you could skip that wall entirely? What if your thoughts could appear in English just like magic? That's the power of thinking in English. It's not about perfection, it's about flow. When you start thinking directly in English, speaking becomes faster, smoother, and more natural. You no longer have to search for words. They come to you like old friends. Your confidence rises. You begin to speak with rhythm and emotion, not just with memorized phrases. You stop surviving conversations and start enjoying them. Thinking in English transforms you from a language learner to a language user. It's the key that unlocks true fluency. And the best part? Anyone can learn it. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you're from, or what level you're at now. With the right practice, you can train your brain to switch into English mode anytime, anywhere. Think in verbs, the power of action words. Imagine this: you're sitting on a bench in Central Park. The morning sun filtering through the trees, the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. Around you, the world is alive. A man jogs past, sweat glistening on his forehead. Children laugh as they chase each other through the grass. A golden retriever leaps to catch a frisbee mid-air. Nearby, a woman is reading a book, while someone else tosses crumbs to a gathering of pigeons. You're not speaking, you're not writing, but your brain is awake. It's noticing, and in English it quietly says, run, laugh, leap, read, toss. These are not just words, they are actions. And in this moment you are thinking in English. This is the first and perhaps the most important step in breaking free from the habit of translation. When you focus on verbs, action words, you train your brain to feel the language. Verbs are everywhere and they are always moving. They give life to a sentence. Without them, we don't know what's happening. And when you start to see them clearly, something beautiful happens. You stop translating and start experiencing English. You don't need to be in New York to do this. Whether you're in a busy market in India, watching vendors sell, children play, or tourists bargain, or simply at home watching your cat stretch, water boil, or your phone vibrate, you're surrounded by actions. And every one of those actions is an opportunity to grow your English brain. But what if you're in a quiet room? No problem. Your imagination is a powerful tool. Close your eyes and picture yourself in a kitchen. What are you doing? Cooking, chopping, stirring, tasting. Or imagine you're in a classroom. Students are raising their hands, the teacher is explaining, someone in the back is yawning. With just a few seconds of imagination, you're creating a vivid world of verbs, all in English. Why does this matter so much? Because when you can recognize and name the actions around you in English, you no longer need to stop and translate. Your thoughts start forming naturally. Your vocabulary begins to organize itself. You're not just learning a list of words, you're seeing them in action, understanding how they work, and slowly making them a part of your mental toolkit. Key practice tip: choose a moment every day, just 5 to 10 minutes. Sit quietly either in the real world or in your imagination, and focus on the actions. Challenge yourself to name everything in English. At the bus stop, wait, scroll, sigh, yawn. In a coffee shop, sip, type, smile, speak. At home, clean, stretch, think, breathe. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. This daily ritual will rewire your thinking and gently shift your brain into English mode. The more you train yourself to think in verbs, the more fluent you become. Not because you're memorizing rules, but because you're living the language. And that's where real fluency begins. Think in nouns, naming the world around you. If. Verbs are the motion in the movie of life. Then nouns are the characters, the props, the settings, the everything we see, touch, and think about. They are the names we give to our world. And when you can name the world in English, you begin to own the language in a deeper, more personal way. Picture yourself standing by the Sydney Opera House. The sky is a soft blue, and the harbour glistens with sunlight. Tourists are everywhere, snapping photos, laughing, pointing at the grand structure that stretches behind you. Boats pass by on the water, and seagulls glide above your head. Now pause for a moment. What do you see? Not just movement, but things. Building, harbour, tourists, boats, seagulls. These are nouns, tiny labels that allow your brain to organize the world around you in English. You don't have to travel the globe to practice this. Walk into your kitchen, open your backpack, sit on your bed. Everywhere you look, there are objects. Table, chair, spoon, phone, book, shoes. Every single one has a name in English, and if you can begin to think of those names without switching back to your native language, you're taking a huge step toward fluency. The real magic of thinking in nouns is that it empowers your everyday life. You stop seeing just a room, and instead you start seeing window, curtain, fan, calendar, mirror. This habit makes you more alert, more present, and, most importantly, more fluent. Your thoughts become richer. Instead of just saying this or that, you can express what something actually is. That gives you the power to describe your world with clarity and confidence. Now let's take it a step further. Imagine you're exploring a colorful market in Delhi. What do you see? Mangoes, spices, vendors, baskets, jewelry. The air smells of street food. People are laughing, talking, moving from stall to stall. In this moment, your brain is absorbing a storm of information, and naming it all in English is like switching on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, English is not a subject. It's a lens through which you experience reality. Try this simple challenge. Empty your bag or backpack. Lay everything out in front of you. Can you name each item in English? Pen, charger, lipstick, receipt. Notebook, sunglasses, without pausing to translate. If not, look them up, say them out loud, and try again tomorrow. You're not just practicing vocabulary. You're building your brain's ability to think in English. Practice tip. Every day, spend a few minutes looking around and mentally naming everything you see in English. Make it a game, wherever you are. On a train, in your kitchen, walking, down the street. Label your surroundings. Challenge yourself. See how much you already know and how much you can learn just by looking. Bit by bit, you'll notice a change. You'll stop thinking, "What is that word in English again?" And you'll start saying, "Oh, that's a lamp, that's a crosswalk, that's a cashier." This simple but powerful shift in your thinking is the foundation of confident, effortless English. Think in sentences, connecting verbs and nouns. So far, you've trained your brain to notice verbs, the actions and nouns, the names of everything around you. But now it's time for the real transformation, putting these words together to form full thoughts. This is where English begins to come alive in your mind. Welcome to the stage where words become sentences and sentences become speech. Think of it like building a bridge. On one side you have your verbs, run, eat, smile, jump. On the other, your nouns, boy, sandwich, woman, park. A sentence is the bridge that connects them. And the beautiful part? These bridges don't have to be long or complex. In fact, short and simple is the best way to start. The boy runs. She eats a sandwich. The woman smiles. Kids jump in the park. That's it. No stress. No need for perfect grammar. Just clear, complete ideas. Now picture this. You're in Cape Town, South Africa, standing at the foot of Table Mountain. The sun is shining, the wind is playing with your hair, and a group of tourists is climbing the rocky path. In your head, you quietly form the thoughts in English. The tourists are climbing the mountain. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing. Just like that, you're practicing real-time thinking in English, and your brain loves it. You can do this exercise anywhere. Sitting in a cafe in Toronto, a family is having a picnic. The children are playing with a ball. A couple is drinking coffee. On the subway in Seoul, people are checking their phones. A man is reading a newspaper. Someone is listening to music. These are not textbook sentences. They're real living thoughts that help you connect your vocabulary with your surroundings. The magic happens when your brain starts forming these sentences automatically. No more starting with your native language. No more struggling to piece together broken phrases. Instead, your thoughts flow in English, clear, natural, and fluent. It's like watching your language skills grow wings. Key practice. Tip: choose a time each day. 10 to 15 minutes is enough. Go for a walk, sit in a cafe, or just look out your window. And for every person, action, or object you see, describe it in a full sentence in your mind. Keep it simple. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to build the habit of forming complete English thoughts on the go. Here's a bonus trick. Narrate your own actions throughout the day. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. I'm opening my laptop. These sentences may seem small, but over time they add up to a powerful transformation, because when you can describe your world in English sentence by sentence, you're no longer just studying English. You're living it. This step is the bridge between thinking and speaking. And once you can cross it confidently, you're one step closer to true fluency. Think in paragraphs, bringing it all together. Now you've reached the final and most exciting stage of learning to think in English, the point where individual words and short sentences start flowing into full, meaningful paragraphs. This is where fluency truly begins to take shape. Thinking in paragraphs allows you to express not just what you see, but what you feel, observe, and experience. It's storytelling, it's reflection, it's communication in its richest form. Let's go on a little journey. Imagine you're standing on the Great Wall of China. The sun is dipping low, painting the sky in gold and rose. The mountains stretch out endlessly before you, and the ancient stones beneath your feet feel both strong and worn from time. Around you, tourists are snapping photos, speaking in languages from all over the world. A cool breeze brushes your face. Now pause. Don't just list the things you see, describe them in English like this. I'm standing on the Great Wall and the view is absolutely breathtaking. The mountains go on forever, and the wall twists and turns like a dragon across the hills. People around me are taking photos and chatting in different languages. I can feel the cool wind on my face, and the stone under my shoes is rough from hundreds of years of footsteps. It's quiet but somehow full of life. This moment feels like a mix of history, beauty, and peace. That's thinking in paragraphs. You're no longer translating. You're living the moment in English. Thinking in paragraphs trains your brain to connect ideas and build flow. Instead of stopping after one sentence, you start asking, what else? You add feelings, sounds, smells, and details. Suddenly your language isn't just functional, it's vivid, expressive, personal. This kind of thinking prepares you for conversations, storytelling, writing, and even public speaking. Try this the next time you're at a cafe. Don't just say, "The waiter is serving coffee." Go further. I'm sitting near the window sipping a warm cappuccino. The cafe smells like fresh bread and roasted beans. Outside, people are rushing by, umbrellas in hand. A couple near me is laughing quietly, sharing a croissant. The music is soft and it makes me feel calm. I could sit here for hours. That's what paragraph thinking feels like. Rich and real. Practice tip. At the end of each day, take 5 to 10 minutes and describe your day in English, paragraph by paragraph. Start with when you woke up. What did you do? Where did you go? Who did you talk to? What did you see, smell, hear, or feel? Don't worry about mistakes. This is your space to explore and express. Over time, this habit becomes one of the most powerful tools in your fluency journey. It teaches you how to connect, not just construct language. You move from English learner to English thinker, someone who can see the world through the lens of a new language and describe it with depth and confidence. This is the final step, but also a beginning. Because once you can think, in paragraphs you can write, speak, and connect in ways you never imagined. Why it works. Let's take a moment to get honest about one thing that frustrates every English learner. You know the words. You've studied the grammar. You've listened to hours of lessons. And yet, when it's time to speak, your brain freezes. The words feel stuck somewhere between your thoughts and your mouth, and you wonder, why can't I speak like I think? The answer lies in the invisible wall between your native language and English. Most learners unconsciously build this wall every day. They think first in their native tongue, then try to push those thoughts across the barrier into English. But in doing so, they create delay. They hesitate, they get nervous. It's like trying to run a race while untangling your shoelaces. Thinking in English tears down that wall. It works because it removes the most time-consuming and energy-draining step in communication. Translation. When you translate in your head, every sentence becomes a two-part process. First, you create the idea in your mother tongue. Then you scramble to find the matching English words. But in real conversations, there's no time for that. The pace is quick. The moment is live. And every pause, every or silence, chips away at your confidence. Now imagine something different. Imagine your thoughts are already in English. No filters, no rewrites, just a direct connection between what you want to say and how you say it. You see someone hand you a coffee, and your mind thinks, "Thank you so much." Not, "Come on." Wait, how do I say that again? Your thoughts become sentences. Your sentences become speech. And just like that, your English becomes you. This mental shift builds a new kind of confidence. Not the kind that comes from memorizing, but the kind that comes from belonging to the language. You no longer feel like an outsider trying to get it right. You start feeling like someone who owns their voice, and that confidence changes everything. Let's say you're in a job interview. The interviewer asks, "Can you describe a challenge you faced at work?" If you're stuck in translation mode, your brain starts juggling. Okay, I had a challenge, and how do I say that in English? Wait, was it problem or issue? The pressure builds, and the answer that lives clearly in your mind gets lost. But when you think in English, your response flows naturally. Yes, last year we had a tight deadline on a major project. I suggested we split the tasks into smaller parts and assign deadlines for each team. It helped us deliver the project on time, and the client was happy. That's not just a sentence, it's communication, and it came from your thinking, not your translating. This technique also makes everyday moments easier. From chatting with a tourist on a train to giving directions on the street, or even just ordering your favorite dessert at a restaurant, thinking in English allows you to respond quickly, clearly, and comfortably. You'll no longer feel like you're performing. You'll feel like you're connecting. And here's the deeper truth. Thinking in English isn't just a trick. It's brain training. Every time you observe, label, describe, or narrate in English, you're rewiring your mind. You're building stronger, faster pathways between ideas and expression. You're teaching your brain that English isn't a subject. It's a second skin, so yes, it works. Not because it's magic, but because it's natural. When you stop forcing yourself to switch back and forth between languages, and instead allow English to become the language of your thoughts, you don't just learn fluency, you become fluent. Practical exercises. Now that you've learned how to think in English, it's time to talk about what you can do, starting today, to build this habit into your everyday life. The great thing is, you don't need a classroom, partner, or even Wi-Fi. You just need awareness, curiosity, and a few quiet moments. These simple, powerful exercises will help you transform passive knowledge into active fluency. They're easy, flexible, and can be done anywhere. Let's explore them. Observe and describe your environment daily. The world around you is a living English lesson if you choose to see it that way. Look out your window, what do you see? A woman walking her dog, a bus pulling into the station, children crossing the street. Don't just see, describe. In your mind, form full thoughts in English. If you do this every day, even just for 5 minutes, you will begin training your brain to naturally frame thoughts in English. Describe. Pictures in detail. Find a photo on Instagram, in a magazine, or from your own camera roll. Now pretend you're describing it to someone who can't see it. The sky is orange with sunset. A boy is flying a kite, and his sister is chasing after it. There are palm trees in the distance and sand beneath their feet. Go beyond the obvious. What might the people be feeling? What's happening outside the frame? This exercise strengthens your descriptive vocabulary and builds fluency through imagination. 3. Keep a daily journal in English. Your life is full of moments worth capturing, and your English will grow when you reflect on them in writing. Each night, take a few minutes to describe your day. Don't worry about mistakes or perfect grammar. Just write. Start with the basics. Today I went to the market. I saw an old friend. We talked about our weekend plans. Then go deeper. What did you feel? What surprised you? What made you laugh? Over time, this habit will help you find your voice in English. 4. Talk to yourself in English on various topics. Yes, really, talk to yourself. You can do it while cooking, walking, or brushing your teeth. Choose a topic. Your favorite movie, a memory from childhood, a goal you want to reach. Then speak aloud as if you're explaining it to someone else. It might feel silly at first, but this is one of the fastest ways to improve your fluency. You practice thinking, forming, and speaking all at once. Set time-based challenges to think only in English. Ready for a mini adventure? Set a timer, start, with just 5 minutes, and during that time allow only English in your thoughts. Whether you're walking to work, doing chores, or sitting quietly, challenge yourself to stay in English mode. Over time, increase the time. 10 minutes, then 15. This builds your endurance and stretches your brain's ability to stay focused in a second language. Bonus tip: mix and match these exercises throughout your week. Monday, journal day. Tuesday, picture description. Wednesday, 10 minutes of English thinking while commuting. Keep it fresh, fun, and flexible. These exercises are not just homework. They are tools that gently shift your mindset. They help you make English not just a subject, but a habit, a rhythm, a part of your inner world. Final thoughts: fluency. It's a word we hear so often, but what does it really mean? For many learners, it feels like a faraway goal, something mysterious, something other people achieve. But here's the truth. Fluency isn't a gift, it's not luck, and it's definitely not about perfection. Fluency is built, one thought, one word, one moment at a time. The journey to fluency begins not with grammar books or perfect test scores, but with a single simple decision: I will practice, every day, no matter how small. It's in the quiet minutes when you name the objects in your room. It's in the moment you describe what the people at the bus stop are doing. It's in the choice to journal about your day in English, even if no one will ever read it. These moments might feel small, but together, they build something powerful. They build your voice. Thinking in English is not just a language trick. It's a new way of living inside the language. It's about forming thoughts without translation. It's about describing your world, your emotions, your experiences, directly in English, with no filters and no hesitation. At first, it might feel unnatural. You might struggle. You might forget a word or mix up a sentence, and that's perfectly okay. Because here's something important to remember. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is. Every mistake you make is proof that you're trying. Every awkward sentence is a seed, and the more you water it with curiosity, patience, and daily effort, the more it will grow. Fluency isn't about sounding like a native speaker. It's about sounding like you, with clarity and confidence, in a language that once felt foreign, but now feels like home. And the 4 stages, thinking in verbs, then nouns, building sentences, and finally expressing full paragraphs, are not just steps in a lesson. They are tools for transformation. With each stage, you take more ownership of the language. You stop memorizing and start experiencing. You stop translating and start believing in your ability to communicate, connect, and express. So what now? You begin, you continue, you commit. There's no perfect time, no special course. Just you, your thoughts, and a bit of space to let English in. On good days, let it flow. On hard days, let it whisper. But always, let it be there. This isn't just a method, it's a mindset. And if you trust the process, if you give yourself the permission to grow slowly, to learn freely, and to speak bravely, fluency will stop being a dream. It will become your daily reality. The road to fluency is long, but every step forward matters. You're not just learning a language. You're building a new way to see the world and express yourself in it. And you've already started. If you found this story helpful, please like, share, and comment below. Your support gives us the motivation to create more meaningful, high-quality stories to help you master English with confidence. Here are 20 key vocabulary words that appear repeatedly or are central to the message, along with clear English explanations to help reinforce understanding. Fluency, the ability to speak a language smoothly, naturally, and without hesitation. Translate, to change words or sentences from one language into another. Confidence, the feeling of being sure of your abilities and not being afraid to speak or make mistakes. Think in English, to form thoughts directly. In English instead of starting in your native language and translating. Sentence, a group of words that express a complete thought, usually including a subject and a verb. Paragraph, a group of related sentences that develop a single idea, often used to describe scenes, events, or thoughts in more detail. Verb, a word that shows action or state such as run, eat, or is. Noun, a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea, such as dog, park, or freedom. Describe, to give. Details about something using words including what it looks like, feels like, or does practice. To do something repeatedly in order to improve a skill. Observation, the act of noticing and paying attention to what is happening around you. Environment, the world or setting around you, including places, people, and objects. Routine, something you do regularly, often every day, like journaling or speaking aloud in English. Challenge, a difficult task or situation that requires effort to overcome or succeed. Express, to share your thoughts, feelings, or ideas using language. Vocabulary, the words you know and use in a language. Mistake, something you do wrong while learning, which gives you a chance to grow and improve. Journey, a long and ongoing process of growth or progress, especially in learning. Confidence, a repeated key theme. It refers to the growing belief in yourself as you use English more often. Mindset, the way you think about learning, growth, and challenges, especially your attitude toward progress and mistakes.